driver gremlins?
Start fresh.
Yeah, I think it's all these different drivers I've tried to do to get Voicemeeter and this and that and the other all to run through these virtual cables and stuff. I think they just don't work nice anymore. I remember I built this computer when Windows 11 was like fresh, brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And like half the drivers and things that came out or that were out were Windows 10. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's possible that stuff is better.
I'm hoping it has to be, considering by the end of the year there's no Windows 12 in sight and Windows 10 will no longer be supported. So
Yeah, cool. Bye-bye.
It's never stopped Microsoft before, don't worry.
Why change now?
But yeah, you're probably correct that stuff is improved. So.
Yeah. We'll finish a few projects that are open on this computer and then wipe it and reinstall, I think. Which I have not done to a computer in so many years, considering how well things have been going overall in the computer landscape of getting these things to just work.
Yeah, I mean, I smooth upgraded from 7 to 10, and I've just been delaying the 11 transition.
Yeah. Well, it's a podcast at 459. 450, that's kind of cool. It's like it's a 9, and then we'll go to Comic-Con and we'll come back and it's a 0. It's kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of cool. Welcome back. Hey, JJ.
Hey.
Hey, Michael.
Hey guys, maybe you can give me some advice. What is the proper way to gripe here in trying to pay a bill? I had a credit on my account last month for this particular service that spilled over a little bit into this month as well. So my bill due this month is 13 cents, right? Except going to pay it, I get an error. Minimum payment due is $1. It splinters under the fingernails. Who do I complain to?
I'm surprised they didn't wipe it out with like credit, knowing that they can't charge it.
I guess the option is you really screw them over and you call the customer service department and ask how you can mail in your 13-cent payment and then mail the coins.
Pennies.
The stamp will cost them. The stamp will cost them 77 cents just to write a check.
No, that's why I'm saying you don't write the check. You say, I'm sending you mail. They have to accept it and send them coins. If they're not willing to give you a way to handle this online, because that's insane.
Is this a place that has an in-person drop-off where you can drop off 13 cents?
I'm sure there is a local office, but I think my due date is while we're in San Diego. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So many things happen. I think the proper way to gripe is to call them and be like, just forgive this money. Like, there's no reason for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many things happen when you're kind of packing for Comic-Con. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I've noticed this. It's kind of one of those, oh, I didn't know I had to get this done by that date. Or like editing this podcast, I have to stay up tonight to do it because I don't have tomorrow to do it like I normally do. Or, like, oh, I forgot for the last year after last Comic-Con that I wanted to do this or that project. And a whole year has passed. I don't know. Did you, in either of you, run into that as we prepare to go this week to the annual comic convention in San Diego? That little thing?
We've done some steady packing over the last couple of days, which hopefully will make for a more sedate Wednesday / preview night than in some years past. But I'm sure there will be things that we realize tomorrow morning that it's like, oh, we forgot to do this, and there's just not going to be time. So yeah, I'll get back to you with that after tomorrow.
I definitely encountered as I was going through my comics and like looking through, it's like, oh, is there anything I want to buy this year? What sounds good? Yada yada. And I was like, oh, I meant to read this last year. I totally didn't do that. Like,
yeah,
entire comic I didn't read. Well, do I want to get the second one? Well, I guess not then.
Wow. I think after last year, we're going to talk about this again in a minute. Actually, the bargain bins not being there.
Yeah, there was only like one booth.
Comic diving.
There was only one booth doing it last year, and it was like, oh yeah,
it was an afterthought even for that booth. Most of the stuff was picked over. It wasn't really anything good in there. I think I bought one book from them, and I think I came back from that convention being like, well, I guess this is dead. The only game in town is now like half price books up in like North Orange County or ordering stuff online, you know? Cause I don't know what happened there. Or, local game stores, but the point of the bargain bins was that things were like half price, if not less.
Right.
Yeah. You could find some steals in there.
For sure. Yeah. And so after the last convention, I bought a bunch of stuff either from the local store or from online for way cheaper. So I don't know that I have a huge like go diving through boxes if they manage to show up again list this year. I don't even really have a shopping list for comics this year, other than one or two that maybe the people that write them will have at their booths because they're not technically out yet. Like they have some advanced copies. I'll pay full price to support that artist directly or that writer directly, but probably not much in that vein, which is weird to say going to the comic convention that I don't plan on doing the I gotta make thanks for reminding me. I gotta make my list of the kids comics that we buy every year, and we always forget to make a list before we go to make sure we don't double buy any.
There you go.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yep. See, this is what happens every time.
This is why you go through it. Yep.
I know we talked a lot last week about the Gundam 30th and how it's going to conflict with the plans that normally happen with the fashion show. Those are two of the big. We talk about them every year. Kind of the fashion shows, like kind of the big thing we talk about every year. This Gundam one was the big thing we talked about last week. Have we perused the schedule yet? Have we started to figure out where we want to go, what we want to do? I think the main thing for me is finding out that a lot of stuff that I would think would have panels doesn't. Like, did you know there's a new Predator movie coming out?
I just watched the preview for that yesterday.
Why aren't they at the convention?
Feels like an easy one.
There's an offsite.
Oh, it's the offsite game where you don't know that they're at the convention, but they're somewhere around town, maybe.
I was just going to say there's a lot of offsites this year. I feel like I've been following the Comic-Con blog people, and there are like a surprisingly large amount of offsites happening this year.
Is there like a offsites list somewhere?
Yeah, they have one. Of course, it's not, the vast majority of them, if they did reservations, those are long, long gone. And if they don't do reservations, then it's, first come, first serve, get in line kind of situation.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember how trying to get into what did we do? Was that mech game that we got into?
Armored Core, yeah.
Armored Core, yeah. We did a thing for that, and we had to register in advance, and still the line was huge.
Yep. I think
I forgot the silly word for them. I'm sorry, they're not called offsites. They're called activations.
Yeah, offsite activations because they're not on the thing. Yeah.
Such a
it's a
gutter
bad
term.
Word.
It's a jargon. Word. It's just jargon.
But there's like a Coca-Cola Star Wars one this year. There's a bunch of like horror. Okay, have you guys looked at the schedule like at all? Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Very little bit. Yeah.
I feel like this year there's a abundance of horror stuff everywhere. Not just like represented in panels, but also in panels. There's like 2 or 3 Hall H horror movie panels.
It's funny you mentioned that because the Strange New Worlds is doing their offsite stuff, and you can walk through 5 Strange New Worlds in their Paramount Plus area offsite, and one of them is
some kind of horror movie thing.
It's a zombie horror movie thing, randomly.
Yeah, and Andy, apparently there are also live performances for Strange New Worlds. like singing and dancing, apparently.
A bunch of actors just wandering around, kind of like when they did the old Vikings thing.
Maybe.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's there's a Doctor Who thing that's offsite this year. There's a they have the Barbie Cafe. There's a Sonic Cafe. There's Magic the Gathering thing that Andy and I might try. Probably will go to.
Yeah, I plan to go. I mean, unless something major comes up, but.
And I think there's actually two, because there's also a Magic the Gathering Avatar thing in the Petco zone or whatever also.
Yeah. I wish they had some sort of like easy way to view this on like a map or something, but instead, because it's Comic-Con, it's all just sort of like a giant listicle from a site from 2010.
There is a person that has a
I was going to say,
updated
someone does
Google
maintain
Map.
a map, isn't there?
Yeah, if you like download their Google Map list, it'll list all the stuff.
I see.
But
So,
that's
yeah,
like
leave it to
not
the- leave
really
it to
what
the
you want
unpaid
necessarily.
people.
Yeah, exactly. It's still
Leave it
like
to-
random unpaid people.
Random unpaid people that have this exact complaint that do the work for you. Great. It's like not $1 billion event. That's my gripe. There you go. Am I allowed to gripe?
I also feel like a lot of the
Yes.
panels I'm interested in this year are like Thursday and Friday, and then there's kind of nothing I care about all day Saturday, and that's kind of wild.
That's good. Maybe you
make
can get
that
on
you
to
make
the
that your
con
floor
floor
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unusual. And then I actually saw a panel I wanted to attend on Sunday, which was also weird.
That's extremely strange.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have some stuff Thursday mostly, and then I don't really even have anything Friday so far. So things are crazy, man. 2 years ago, I was like almost all panels all the time. They had such a slate of amazing panels that I was in rooms almost all day on a Thursday. And this year, not so much. And this year, I may not even be in the convention hall that much. Apparently, all the stuff I want to do is not even in there. So maybe it's a gas lamp year. That's weird.
Yeah, and
Feels
90.
strange.
I think almost all of those gas lamp things don't require the badge, and then you're like, well, what the heck are we doing here?
Yeah,
Right?
what are we even bothering with having bought a badge for this day? Yeah, it's a strange new world. Ha ha.
Got him.
See what you did
Got
there.
'em. Yeah. I don't know. Can I talk about another strange world?
Yeah, sure.
Michael,
Sure, go for it.
I played your game.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, let's talk about some games for a minute. And then
Okay.
we're going to lead into more games and other games. Maybe back into comics. I don't know. But Animal Well was my second assignment homework game.
Hopefully it did not feel like homework.
It's a Metrovania.
It sure is that.
Which is definitely one of those. Do I have, I'm 20 minutes in. Do I need to start taking notes about this thing and that thing that I need to remember to come back to because I clearly can't accomplish it now? What's this unlit candle? I have no idea how to light it. Fireworks don't light it. I guess I have to come back later. I guess I wasn't supposed to jump on this ledge. I guess,
You're definitely poking and prodding at a lot of things early on.
Yeah. This beaver goes back into its cage. I assume I need to like find a way not to scare it or something. It seems like a very well thought out one of those. Sometimes it's very hard to see the screen and
Were you
what they're
playing it
trying to do.
on a deck?
I am playing it on a deck. I think it's the colors and the lighting, and I feel like the lighting is that way on purpose. Like I'm supposed to find things to make things brighter sometimes or whatever. Because like when I don't even know the character's name, wanders over things brighten up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always like a clue that something else can change later on or whatever. I mostly agree with your assessment that controlling is not too tight, but I definitely feel like there are times I could have skirted ghosts or done some little light platforming. There's like the timed ones where the platforms seem to disappear and reappear on a timer
Yeah,
with a
yeah, you do still have
better
to.
D-pad.
Yeah,
uh, yeah, it seems kind of meandery as far as Metroidvanias go. It doesn't seem like there's much story driving me to do much of anything other than just sort of wander around looking at things.
yeah, and you definitely can. It's one that you can pick a direction and make progress in exploring without really feeling too gated.
Yeah, I
Um,
do wonder about like, oh, I'm going really far this way, so I hope there's fast travel later, or there's
so,
like, why am I collecting eggs? No one's telling me why I'm collecting eggs, but I'm finding them.
yep. So it doesn't spoil anything to say yes, you will unlock fast travel later.
Yeah, it seems like
Does
a
it
thing.
spoil anything to say what the eggs are about?
The eggs unlock. So there is a room where you can see your egg collection. And I don't, at least as far as I remember getting, it doesn't spoil anything to say that the room where you see your egg collection has doors on the far side of it from the entrance. And
Oh,
with as you collect more eggs for certain thresholds, a new door will open,
mm,
and it will grant you access to certain things. One of those things might actually be the fast travel system,
okay.
but there are different things behind each of the doors. I haven't gotten to the point of opening all of them.
Yeah.
I,
I wonder how deep a game this is. It seems like they want you to feel like it's a light game with the surface level stuff where it like looks light, it looks um but I feel like it's going to be a long one.
no comment.
Uh-oh.
Uh, I have done, I think, enough reading about it to know what JJ is no commenting about.
Has JJ, did you play this game?
No, but I know quite a bit about what happens in it, so
Oh.
I shan't be telling you anything about it.
How long to beat? I haven't clicked on anything else. Says 7 to 17 hours depending on your level of completion. It doesn't feel like 7 hours. I've already been playing an hour and I don't feel like I've gotten almost anything accomplished.
Yeah,
Also,
7 seems short.
also
Speed
starting
runs, maybe.
zones, maybe. Starting zone wise, I really felt like I learned to jump and then that was about it. you know?
Yeah.
Like I can't tell that I've left the starting zone, but I think I pretty clearly have.
I don't
It,
know that there is a really clearly demarcated starting zone in this one like there are in some other Metroidvanias.
That's a very
yeah,
interesting
I was
start.
going to say, Andy, why don't you tell us what you have?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question is what tools have you found so far?
So I keep going to different areas and I don't find much of anything. I know that I've unlocked firecrackers,
Okay.
uh, which was very early. And then after unlocking firecrackers, I've been to a lot of different rooms with like keys and locks and all sorts of stuff, but I don't have any. Well, I haven't picked up any keys, but there's been a lot of locked doors. So I don't know if I'm like meandering too haphazardly and I'm not following like some sort of set path that the game intended me to follow. But it felt like I was going right directions. Now, of course, I say that, but I played too many games. So, like the very first room that you start in, it's like there's the jumpy guy over there. You're clearly supposed to go follow the squirrel. And I was like, yeah, but what if I go backwards? you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I think this game is very good at letting you know when you can't go a certain way anymore. And it's not like, well, there's a locked door, I have to turn around. Man, there's 3 doors. Use the other ones. Where do they go? Right? Um, it's very much an exploration kind of game. I don't feel that the just because you see a lock means you have to be turning around and going somewhere else.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely. I just feel very meandery so far. I guess that's okay. I just haven't felt that way in a while. Playing a game where I'm kind of like uncertain about what I'm supposed to be doing. And that could speak to what games are now, right? Versus just like wandering around exploring. But it doesn't feel like Subnautica level exploring or anything like that. But
I mean, I think this game definitely wants you to wander around and explore, though. So you're not wrong.
cool. Well,
Yep.
that's my report so far. It's nice. It's cozy. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Are you squinting at the map like I did on the deck?
Dude, it's so bad. The
it's
locked
so
doors,
tiny.
the locked doors being like they're the same hue as the neon of the other colors, but it's red. So it's like, oh, I see a one red pixel there. That must be one of the locked doors that I didn't get before.
Yeah, it's real hard to see.
Why is there no more zoom to it?
I think it was made for assuming you were going to be playing it on a screen, and it was never. They've never gone back and polished the map feature for deck for playing it portably.
Yeah, that's insane. That map is bad.
I wonder if I haven't looked. I wonder if someone has put out a mod that lets you zoom in more and better on the map. That seems like something that someone could implement.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's got to be rendered in there. It's not like it can't be zoomed on, even if it gets a little blurry. I don't know.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one, man. Seems like an oversight.
Yeah. Well, do we have other video game play times to talk about? How many hours JJ's into Clair Obscur?
Yeah, and that game's real good. I can't talk about what I've done in it because it's all full of massive spoilers. And I one day hope that one or both of you guys play that game at some point.
It'll definitely happen.
I'll say
eventually.
that it's really fun, man. I really, really enjoyed, like, even up through the end when I was clearly way stronger than what was going on. And it was still rad to, like, do the parries and, just kick butt. Losing the fear of doing the parry instead of doing the easy dodge was the thing that unlocked that game for me, I think.
Losing the fear of losing the parry?
So it like a soul. So Andy doesn't play Souls games, and so I guess
That's not true.
That I feel.
I've played at least one Souls game. That Jedi game is a Souls game, no matter what you want to say about it.
Okay. And when you parry in that game, but you mess up the timing, what happens?
You get kind of like stunned for a second.
Yeah. So in this game, the parrying is like if you don't hit it at the exact right time, you get got for damage, right? Versus you have a different button you could press instead of the parry button. That's a dodge button, and the window for dodging is much bigger. So you're much more likely to hit the dodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's different kinds of things. There's a jump and there's a counter, and counter is different than parry. Don't ask questions, just play the game. But learning that I just instinctively went for dodging most of the time because it's relatively easy to pull off, and then you take no damage. Taking no damage is great, right?
Yeah.
The parry, though, you get a counterattack after the parry if you do the parry right, or multiple parries if it's like a multi-hit thing or whatever, right? And that stuff is really good. And like some of the greatest feeling in the game when the boss or whatever has like a 5-hit attack and you hit like parry, 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 parry. Oh, wait for it. Parry, huge counterattack, right? Awesome. Like one of the greatest feelings in the game. And then just being like, you know what? And if I miss this last parry, I guess I'll take 1,000 damage. Oh well, right? Like that'll just be how it is. Yeah, I only have 2,000 HP, but who cares? This parry's going to be great. And then as the game goes on, you build up more of your resources and stuff, and just realizing like, yeah, I can just take the parry. If I fail it, oh well, like resurrect the character or whatever, like move on. Like it's not that big a deal. Really unlocked the combat for me and like let me try all kinds of really cool builds and stuff that ended up being really awesome in the end.
It sounds like it's an
Nice.
RPG that drifted into Souls-like here towards the end, and that's probably why it grabbed you so hard.
I mean, I think it always was that. I just wasn't playing it that way in the beginning, right?
Oh, okay.
All these parries and stuff were there, close from the outset, but I just wasn't doing it. And I think that's one of the strengths of the game. Like, hey, if you don't want to deal with this stuff, you can go fight enemies and, respawn them and level up, and then you don't have to parry, right? Like, you don't need that counterattack damage to get by. You can just dodge out of the way and, or tank it with various mechanics and get through the battle in your own way, right?
That's kind of cool too. That a lot of games probably don't even let you over level these days. Things are so tightly planned in AAA games, so that they can't.
I don't know how much grinding you're going to have to undertake to over level, but certainly it is possible to do. And like I was talking about before, the mechanics are such that if you're good at that parry or the dodges or whatever, you kind of are invulnerable actually. And so you can fight enemies way stronger than you if you want to. You're going to do 2 damage every time you poke them with your sword or whatever, right?
But you're never taking any damage, so you're
but
basically
you're literally
just
invulnerable. Yeah, and so it's just a question of what your patience will allow, or if they have a heal or something, right? But
yeah,
in theory, you could do that if you really wanted to waste your own time. And there are definitely places where I was like, I'm not doing this now, and then I left, and then much later in the game came back, and I was like, fresh meat. It's time to show him who's boss. That was fun. That was very fun coming back to some of the earlier areas and be like, oh, why did I skip this guy? I'm like 2-shotting him now. So anyway, really, really like that game. One of my highlights this year for sure.
Awesome. Michael, it sounds like maybe you've been a little bit too busy getting ready to pack out.
Yeah, too busy to play really much of anything on my own, but I have caught some streamers that I like to follow playing some of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Dude, how have we not talked about Donkey Kong Bonanza yet?
It it looks really, really good. I have another close friend who picked it up, who has also been giving me some little teaser previews of it, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun, provided you avoid the motion sickness. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Apparently, with some of the motion that they do with the camera, maybe no one's 100% positive on where it's what the actual root cause is, but there have been a lot of people who have reported only being able to play the game in small chunks because they start to get nauseous and feel like they're having motion sickness.
What? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So I don't know.
I did find out that my controllers on Switch 1 did not have stick drift. It's just that the children had enabled motion detection. Speaking of motion, that's what reminded me of it.
So it's picking up you moving your hands.
When they're flopping around the couch trying to turn their cart because, they think, that pulling it harder to the left will make it go left. They weren't wrong because they were turning the controllers upside down and then their cart was running in the walls.
Yep.
Bonanza seems like a good game. It seems like not a lot of people had expected it to be another Mario Odyssey.
I think that was very much a surprise, but it's by the same team, so
maybe we should have known.
That seems to be what it. Yeah.
We also have to talk about the last game of the week here, JJ, because we both accomplished something on the same day in Magic: The Gathering Arena.
Yeah.
This is the first, what do they call it, mastery?
Yeah, the mastery pass.
That I have willingly achieved.
Are you talking Final Fantasy here?
Yeah, they do a battle pass, Michael,
Okay. Yep.
and you got to play. You don't have to play. You have to win a minimum of 4 games a day in order to finish those battle passes. Some people
It's-
say 3, but I think it's 4.
It's definitely not 4 because I didn't
Okay.
win 4, but
Okay.
it is. If you're not going to play every day, you need to be winning more, right? Like the less days you choose to play or to complete your quests, then you are going to fall behind in the pass for sure.
Yeah. Very cool. I also, alongside that, JJ accomplished something else, which is I have every card in the set in the digital format.
One
What's
of
that?
one of
every card in the set. Yeah.
Okay.
There are cards in the set that don't count as in the set. Just so you know this.
Yeah, the special guest stuff.
Not that actually. All the cards from the Final Fantasy starter decks that were unique to the starter decks are actually in the set. So, like, there's a special Cloud and a special Sephiroth from those cards, and those cards are in there, as well as like one commander card is also in there, and a couple other random cards that they put into Arena, but they don't count as part of the set because the numbers were off. I was like trying to figure out why the numbers were off. It said I had 3 missing mythics, but there were 5 mythics in the crafting screen. Very strange.
They all have the same symbol? That's surprising.
Yeah, I know. Weird, right?
Very weird.
Yeah.
Congrats. I hope you weren't using too many wild cards on that. Like, it doesn't get you much other than happiness, but if it gives you happiness, then I guess it's worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it for the happiness. I don't think it was too many wild cards. I think it was a few, probably more than you would have approved of. So
Glad to be known as the stickler.
this is what I'm telling you now. Better to ask forgiveness than permission.
True. Yes, very much.
Yeah. It's, I think it's funny. I think it was a very, retrospectively here for a minute, it was a very draftable set. It was fun, and the archetypes were good, but only 2 or 3 times did I actually ever get a good draft.
That's how draft goes, man. I feel anyway. I mean, I know other people say, "Oh, I win, X every time or whatever," but that's never me, dude. If I draft a set 3 times, I'm hoping I get deep 1 of those 3, and the other ones I'm hoping to tread water. Like, it's just I'm not built whatever way those other people that claim to do that are.
Well, it's funny too because sometimes I'll draft a deck and I don't think it's great, but it's got a good curve and it's got decent cards and they sort of have synergies, but they only have 1 or 2 between a few cards. And then I'll draft, like today, I finished a draft on Golgari and it had perfect synergy. Every card was putting something in the graveyard, every other card was pulling things out of the graveyard. Things were activating powers based on how many permanents were in the graveyard. It was like a perfect draft. 1 win. That's it. Couldn't win otherwise.
Yeah, the midweek Magic this week was a phantom draft, right? So you got another chance to play.
Yeah. I have a white-red equipment deck for that that I drafted. It's working decently well. I got to finish the rest of those games.
I think I ended up with black-red this time, although I drafted half of a black-green before I abandoned it because I kept getting good red cards. And did all right. I won pretty quick on that, so I don't know if I just had a good curve or other people were bad or both.
Both, yeah. I think it's a sign of a lot of things that it was decent, and but things are ready to move on, man. Like, it's time for the next set.
Yeah, that's the thing I really dislike about the way Magic is handled these days is they really don't give you any time to marinate in a thing. They're just like, all right, time for more money. Let's go. Like, next set. All right, hey. All right, you done with that? All right, a shiny thing over here. Look. Spider-Man time. All right, we're done with that? All right, throw it on the ground. Avatar time. Look at this over here. Like, just really, like,
You didn't even
jangle the
mention
keys
the
as
space
much as
set
possible.
in the middle. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're in now. We're already done with the space set, Andy. We've previewed all of it. Time to throw that shit on the ground and look at the next set. Like, it's just like that, man.
You got to stay on that hamster wheel.
No, Michael, he's right. The set is not even out.
And we will not be looking at it at Comic-Con.
It will not even be out by Comic-Con. No cards, nothing will be there from the set, because is in their mind, once the thing has gone up online, the card file, it's over. The set's over. Time to promote the next thing. I give people hype. It's like, I think a lot of the old heads have even said that this year's cycle is the most aggressively anti game it's ever been, and most pro just buy the cards people. I went into, and I think this leads in perfectly, I went into a store recently, and like, all their pre-release stuff is full for the next set. It's looking great. Does anyone have any stock of Final Fantasy? Nah. Are they worried about it? Nah. The next set's coming.
You know
That's
what it is,
crazy.
though? Like, they're not worried about the stock of Final Fantasy because it's going to get printed more. Like,
It's going to get printed more, but like, the hype for this thing is still so strong in store, where they could, if they got more stock, they would sell it immediately. And they're not even thinking about it.
They're not worried because they know as soon as it comes in, they'll just sell it immediately. No problems.
Yeah. But like, we're going to be 2 sets down the line by then. That's crazy.
This is what happened with Lord of the Rings, though. You weren't paying attention at this time, but that was the case then. Is like the Lord of the Rings set got super hot, and like it sold out everywhere. This stuff was impossible to find, yada yada. The One Ring, blah blah blah, and they did a huge reprint around the holidays and sold a ton more cards. And then the prices on everything started crashing down at that time.
You say that, but all the unopened product from Lord of the Rings is now worth double what it was then.
Yeah, I didn't say that's how. Look, man, all this stuff is limited print run. I didn't say that it's like going to be cheap perpetually. Their entire business is built on, scarcity.
FOMO.
So like they're going to enforce it eventually.
Yeah.
But they're going to reprint this Final Fantasy set. They know how well it sold. They're going to print more of it and sell it. But in 2 years, there won't be any more of it. And so the prices will start going up again.
I feel like this is the exact same pattern that Ken and Kit and I were all talking about with Hasbro and their commodification of toys, which has kind of somewhat collapsed the toy market in terms of, obviously toys are commodities, but like the commodification of this consumer, of just assuming they're going to buy. The toys aren't doing as well as they were for Hasbro. So now they're shoving this as hard as they can, I think.
I mean, both things can be true, right?
Something.
You know what's wild to me? I guess this is a good time to talk about my stories about the game store, market these days. What's wild to me about it is there's so much money happening with all these sets and everything. Some of these Final Fantasy cards are going for thousands of dollars, right, JJ?
Are they? I mean, I guess. I don't know the
chocobos and
like what are the prices on anything, but I feel like no one's actually paying that, right? Like it's like crazy people on the internet that are paying this money and not people in real life. Like I get, maybe I'm wrong about that, but
I don't know if it's crazy people on the internet, but at least they're on the internet. The differences between a lot of these stores, like in-person stores, and how they're making money is wild to me. It's really crazy. They're getting in all these products that are hot, and they've started to like ignore MSRP and make more money on each box of these products that are coming in. Mm-hmm. Each of the stores is obviously doing that, where they're like, well, the collector booster boxes are $800. Too bad. You got to buy them at that price because that's what the internet's selling them for. But that can happen at each store. But let's say the store one has an online store where you can search every single card they have, all the product they have that's not like single cards. They have a Discord server where they're talking to people all the time. They have a lively weekly schedule for Magic and other games. This new Gundam game, JJ, that we might need to find a preview for at Comic-Con just to check it out.
Okay.
I don't think either of us are going to end up playing a new card game at this point in our lives, but I was at another store and every single person came in looking for this Gundam game. Not a single person came in asking about Magic or Final Fantasy or anything. It was all about Gundam. New Gundam card game. I don't know anything about it. But okay, so that's Store A, right? Store A's got a huge online presence. They're selling cards on their website. They aren't using TCG Player or anything like that, but they've got revenue streams. They're doing the best they can to make money. Store 2, online presence, selling product, no singles, but they have like bulk box. You can go in and buy cards out of the bulk box. They have a Discord server, so it's kind of like they're getting there. Maybe they want to do more, maybe they don't. They might be happy where they're at, but they're trying to make money. And you can also have stores that are like hole in the wall things. They've got a huge list of cards, like walls and walls of cards. Can you search them? No. Do they sell them online? No. Do they have a website? No. Do they have a Discord server? No. How do you get a hold of them? I just email them or go on Facebook. How wild that like the product is enough to prop up all these different models when at the same time you hear about how much of a struggle local game stores are having.
I think a lot of that is how much technology does the person running the store want to deal with? Right? Because I suspect a lot of those stores have like 4 employees, if that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, are any one of them running the website? If so, you get a website. Otherwise, you don't. Right? And if the owner doesn't want to do that stuff, well, you get a bunch of cards posted on the wall. Deal with it. Talk to the owner. Right?
Yeah. But when they say that the market is so terrible for local stores and all this other stuff, and then you can see like there's this store that's trying not to pilfer their customers for thousands for these boxes, but they're doing a lot of work to make money in other ways, so you can kind of get behind the fact that their common cards cost 50 cents when really online they cost 10 cents if you want to buy them from an online store or whatever. It's just kind of, I can't believe the wide range of people that are in business doing this and how they can be supported by literally just like the hype of products. Because I doubt they're making bank on singles or this or that and the other thing. It's got to be like the people coming in and just buying out all the Pokemon, the people coming in buying out all the Final Fantasy, the next people coming in to buy out all the Spider-Man.
I think the margins on that stuff are crap, dude. Like, I don't think they make a lot of money selling individual booster packs or boxes unless they're marking them way up.
Yeah, well, they started to mark them up.
Well, but what I mean is that, like, they're not making any money on transactions for a box of cards, like, unless they're marking that stuff way up. So the way they make money is selling you 50-cent commons and $3 rares that should be 10 cents and so on and so forth.
I was thinking about that, and then I wondered how the place with no website, no online presence, no nothing, how they're still in business.
I mean, they must have groups of people that come in there and play and buy stuff all the time. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. Or like maybe their thing isn't the cards. Like maybe they have a card thing, but like actually they're selling Warhammer figures out the wazoo. Or they're selling, like they're the place that like has a giant local board game club and those people come in and buy all kinds of crazy games. Like, I don't know.
That was fascinating too. I went to a store and it was like one of these places was like literally just a dungeon with only Magic in it. And like they were in business somehow. And then you go up to another store and it's brightly lit. Every surface has like you can see a window to the outdoors. They have board games, they have Warhammer, they have paint, they have Magic cards, they have Pokemon cards, they have this, they have that. It's like such a huge range of these types of stores now in terms of what they're carrying, what they're able to carry. I didn't understand. Like, I feel like when we started playing Magic, all these types of places were almost exactly the same. If you went in a game store, they looked the same. Every single one of them.
extremely disagree. Like, I think you weren't paying attention as a kid, man. Like, the local game store near my house was like 50% sports cards and the other 50% Magic and Star Wars and whatever else was around at that time. And there was like none of that other stuff. And then you go into a place like Brookhurst Hobbies and it was like, hey, dude, 5 billion war games. Also, here's some cards over in the corner. And then like shelves of miniatures and like, models and stuff. So
Interesting, because Brookhurst was much closer to the game stores near me, right? Like Brookhurst Hobbies was a bigger version of those places. Like some of them were small and some of them were large, but I felt like a lot of them carried the same stuff.
I mean, there was less diversity of product back then, right? There
Maybe
just
that's part
weren't
of it,
as
yeah.
many different versions of these, little niche hobbies and stuff. But certainly the case, that Magic is also more diverse than it ever has been, right? Like if you have a loyal Magic following, you could run a whole thing, man. Look how much you and I talk about it.
Yeah, well,
And we barely play. Like we don't play real, we're not tournament grinders or people out there playing tons of Commander games or whatever. Like that's not not how we're doing. So
I would love to, in a clinical sense, sit down with the owners of some of these so wildly different stores and be like, tell me how you're making money. I've got to know. Like when I see a place like Brookhurst Hobbies that is still in business, or Shuffle and Cut Games, which is one of those massive stores that has amazing lighting. There's one in Vegas that is the size of my house. I kid you not.
no, I mean it makes sense to me, right? I think the answers are like you attract followings, right? You either get good at advertising on social media and you get a lot of people, a lot of foot traffic, or you get a very dedicated group of people who come into your place all the time and buy stuff, right? Like make a community whatever way that community works.
Yeah.
I think we will talk about a few other things that we won't get to today, but the community around Black Sabbath is pretty sad. And they did have a community, I think, at the end there. Don't you?
Have they not always been popular?
I was gonna say, I feel like they've had a loyal following for a long time.
Oh, they've always been popular, but they had a pretty big band breakup years and years and years ago. Due to, I think, a lot of health problems with Ozzy's particularly, who passed away right before we recorded this, basically.
Yeah.
But they proved that they still had a community at the end, which is kind of cool. They did a last show. They raised a bunch of money. And I just thought it'd be a cool shout out to be like, oh man, it's starting to happen where the old bands that we know as old bands aren't going to be around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Elton John's still performing, but he's got major health issues.
Yep. Billy Joel had to stop performing.
Billy Joel's not yet.
Health reasons recently.
Yeah, it's kind of
We're hitting
crazy.
that
At the
age,
same
right?
time, we've got bands coming back that we listened to as kids for their 25th anniversary of albums. Like, oh, let's get back together and do a tour.
Well, when
wild
Blink
times.
182 reunites again, then we'll know that we've officially crossed into old age, right? We're solidly middle age now because they reunited and already did a tour, right? But
Yep.
Yeah,
when they do it
It's the
again,
second time.
we'll know that we're now old.
I knew that it was happening when I went to a concert last time, and 3 bands in a row, they were all talking about how they were relating to their kids.
Oh yeah. And then they play like the teen angst anthem, and you're like, guys,
Yeah.
what's happening here?
Yeah. I mean, I still like the song, but I wish we hadn't let in with the, Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see everyone at Comic-Con. In the meantime.
People can get at us at podcast@weweregamers.com. You can find us on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, We Were Gamers, all those places. And go check out our YouTube, youtube.com/@weweregamers.
I totally forgot to link in here to this discussion why I was wondering why bargain bins had died, and I think that's part of it is the looking at the local game store stuff, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all even the comic book stores are saying they're struggling and stuff, and then you're like, well, you took away this revenue, you take away that revenue. A lot of people are taking away their revenue streams because they don't see them making money, and then they struggle more to make money. I wonder what these businesses do. I'm struggling to understand
I mean, I
how
think it's a
wide
fair.
these ranges can be.
I think it's a fair thing to say. Like, you said comic book stores are struggling. I think game stores may not be, but comic book stores are, because I think comics are, as you have noted, right? Like on a massive downward trend, just number of titles, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
For sure.
massively down.
yeah. I wonder year over year what the comic sales are out. That might be a ask Ken while we're at Comic-Con if he's heard anything about the sales charts and how they look based on the last 5-10 years. But I'm guessing I don't know if they're up or down. It's hard to tell. Sometimes
Well, and then
these things are cyclical.
what do sales mean? Sales of what? And sales of, yeah.
And sales, I know I remember when comics were $2.99, then $3.99, and now some of them are up to like $5.99.
I was going to say $5, $6, $7 an issue, right? Yeah.
And you're talking about not making money on these hundreds of dollar booster boxes. Imagine making money on a comic book, man.
And I think the real issue, right? The reason I say you don't make money on the booster box is because the margin is low. They sell you it for a number. You can't turn around and sell it for 2x that number because the shop next door or down the street or online is selling it for 1.01, right?
Unless of course you're a preferred shop, and then that whole thing.
But that just gets you access to product, doesn't give you better margins. The people online are still selling it for 1.01, right? You're still getting got. And so then that's why we talked about the community stuff, because the only way then to make money is to get people coming into your store and doing other things than these low margin products. And comics don't have those secondary revenues. Maybe they do, and I'm just not aware of them, which is very, very possible. But, buying an issue of comics, I can't imagine, people want to pay what's written on the thing, right? How much margin is built in there?
Yeah. I wonder. I really do, because I got to imagine things are trending up as they usually do over time. But it seems like everything's so negative all the time about who can't make money,
Yeah, and I think you're probably being pessimistic about it, and there certainly are people who are making money, but I think it's just
who is it though?
Yeah, and what way are they doing it, right? It may be the case that your local store that you love isn't making the money, and so it seems like the industry is in a downward trajectory. But some other store that has some huge online presence is doing gangbusters, and meanwhile has shuttered their local location, right? And now they just sell to nameless people online.
Yeah.
And that sucks for you, the person who loves to touch these things. But, and I have no idea. And maybe I'm just completely wrong and the entire industry is in a dumpster fire. I have no idea.
It's hard to tell too, because a lot of this stuff, I mean, I think comics generally stopped reporting a lot of numbers during COVID. And I don't know if Hasbro is a very forthright informer of...
And they're not a reliable narrator for the state of an industry, right?
Yeah.
And, that also depends on where we live. We all live in Southern California, which is a ludicrously expensive place to live. And that may not be the case in other parts of the country where that stuff is more, land and housing and rents are more attainable to people. And then all of a sudden, things like running a game store is more feasible.
Yeah, sure. I do notice a lot of if I purchase cards online, which I did to build that Tom Bombadil deck, they all come from the Midwest. That's where the huge warehouses of these things are. and that whole drama about eBay shutting down a TCG Player store was shutting down an expensive East Coast store or an East Coast warehouse to move it to somewhere cheaper.
Yeah. So, this is why I'm saying like the problems can be localized in places that are just hard to maintain businesses,
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
And, there's
fascinating to me.
a billion unrelated reasons to the game industry why that can be happening. And,
it really is. I know that it's not a thing that I should be doing to be shopping all the time for cardboard cards. But frankly, like just going to the stores is often the enjoyable part, and sitting in and looking at the crazy amount of differences there are between these stores now and like how they're operating is wildly fascinating.
Here is a not even a small store anecdote, right? One of my coworkers and I were talking the other day, and he mentioned he had to, for some reason or other, I think he wanted to look at vinyl records because he's a big vinyl guy. And he likes to go in and look at them because he wants to see the colors or whatever they did for the various things.
Sleeve
right?
art and
yeah. And the muse took him for whatever reason. He had gone to some local record store and bought a bunch of records and was on his way back and was like, you know what? I should stop by this Best Buy. They sell things there, and go inside. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked in. They had a giant display of Switch 2s in the front, and they were just like, in stock.
Please take one.
Yes. Would you like to buy a Switch 2? And he was like, holy crap. And the store, and so then he was like, the real ones are in a cage somewhere, right? But like they had a bunch of them, right? It wasn't like it was a fake display. They had a lot of them in stock. And they're like, we don't put these online. They're only available in store. If you just walk in, you can buy one. But if you try to buy it online, you can't. And, and we don't advertise that. But if you come in, anyone that comes in here can buy them. And we have a lot.
Whoa.
And so he was like taken away. He was like, whoa, I didn't know that was something they could even do. But he's like, yeah, they don't report as in stock on their website.
And hence no one even bothers to go to the store.
Yeah, but if they did, right, they would learn and have a really good experience of getting well, not free, but a, at cost Switch 2 and, whatever the bundle situation is. But, so he was just like blown away. He was like, I had no designs on getting a Switch 2, but it was there and I want one eventually. And the Donkey Kong thing. So I guess I'm doing this. Okay.
Wow.
Well, okay then.
So, all kinds of business opportunities are out there for the enterprising business, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I should hit stop on this so we can all go to bed.